Yo. Okay. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Office Podcast. It has been an extremely long time. In case you thought we were gone, psych, we're back. And it's been too long, but I'm really excited to be sitting before you guys with two awesome friends that I have here, Joanna and Josh Allison.
Hola!
Or Josh and Joanna Allison. Who goes first?
You know what? I don't make
Obviously
a big deal
me.
out of it.
Obviously
Whichever
Josh.
flows- Whichever flows better.
Patriarchy.
Got it.
Don't cut that.
I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to keep it in. But yes, so these are two of my newest friends, I would say, that have become very close to me. They attend Bonnie Lake campus. Is that correct?
That's right.
For a while now?
Verdad.
Huh?
True.
Yeah, true that.
Es verdad.
Oh, there you go. He speaks a little bit Spanish for our Spanish
No,
podcast
it's
listeners.
not.
He just looked up.
I speak a little bit.
He just looked up a couple words before getting here.
Hablo un
'Cause,
poco.
oh, there you go. Yeah, he does. That's impressive. But yes, in case you don't know, we have our Christmas production. It's a Wonderful Life coming up, and these two are the main stars, George
Stop.
and Mary.
Just stop.
What is your last name? Bailey. George and Mary Bailey. If you've never seen the movie, go watch it. And yeah, but I'd like for them to have the time to introduce themselves. So, ladies first. Joanna, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Joanna, and I grew up in Redmond, where Microsoft is.
Nice.
And
Nerd.
then our family started a business in the area, and so we wanted to move closer to family. And it costs $1 million to buy like a doghouse on the east side. So we moved down here. My parents moved down here. My brother-in-law and his wife and family moved down here, and Josh grew up in Puyallup, so he
You're
had
a
sworn years
Puyallup
ago
rat.
that he would never come back.
You say
And
brat
it's
or
funny.
rat?
It's funny how God works, because
Yeah.
when you say you're not going to do something, sometimes you end up doing the thing.
You just do it. That's awesome.
So we have 3 boys, 5, 3.5, and almost 2.
Wow.
And I'm a nurse at Tacoma General, and I have had a lot going on over the last few years. I had breast cancer when I was pregnant. I've had several knee surgeries, several other surgeries, and so now I feel like the dust is kind of settling from all of that
Nice.
stuff. And so the opportunity...
Taking donations. We have a GoFundMe.
Yeah, the bills are
That's so good.
still rolling, but that's okay. And so I feel like the dust settled from all of that,
Yeah.
and so we were kind of in a place where we were able to do something besides go to doctor's visits.
Wonderful. I love
We're
it.
doing the play for the money, though. Let's just be clear.
Oh, yeah. All the ticket sales.
We're 50% discount.
that's why there's a
50 grand. Well, she's not getting paid. I'm getting paid 50 grand, which is 50% off.
Whoa. That's why there's a third night.
Just you're gonna have to tell the bookkeeper that.
Joanna, how long have you worked at Tacoma General?
I've been there about 4.5 years,
You know,
and
I used to work there.
oh, you did?
I did.
As a nurse?
No, in the kitchen.
Oh, I would love for you to
love
be
it.
I wash dishes.
You know what? Honestly, bless you. Number 1.
hard work.
Number 2, this is like my retirement job. I'm
Really?
33 years old. I could probably work my current
You
job
are
till I'm like 95.
getting a little old.
It's awesome.
Little
It's a
old.
great job.
It was
So-
fun.
He's getting a little old.
I genuinely liked it. The only issue was because I was still in school. I was in college. I couldn't work mornings, so I worked all the night shifts, but then it got in the way with church.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I would have church in the evenings, so I would work
Yes.
a couple shifts, and then I was like the main keys and worship leader at my church, at the other church I used to go to at the time. It just didn't work out, so I had to quit.
Yeah.
But it was fun. The
I
food
used to
was pretty
work
good.
I used to work night shift on some Saturdays, and Sunday morning we'd go to church, and I would unabashedly lay my head on Josh's shoulder and
Nice,
take a nap.
Aw.
And not forever, but that was a season.
Yeah.
nice. I love that.
Yep.
Okay, Josh, who are you?
No. Hi. I am Josh Allison.
This is so fun.
Estoy 35 years old.
He's wearing a homemade scarf that I
More
crocheted
like
for
Tango
him.
35 años. I grew up in Puyallup,
Nice.
South Hill. The South Hill campus, this is actually, I'm being serious,
Uh-huh.
is I hadn't been to that campus until, I don't know, like a year ago, but that was the Albertsons we grew up going to.
Wow.
Like, I hadn't seen it not as an Albertsons until about a year ago.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Wow.
So, too bad for Albertsons. Should have worked on your business plan a little more.
Yeah.
So,
So like if you walk in the front doors, you kind of remember where things were.
yeah, exactly.
Really?
I know exactly where the Snickers bars.
Now people are getting saved on aisle 5.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well played. Yeah. And there was a Blockbuster there, too. They also went out of business. So,
Where?
2 failed businesses, apparently.
Oh, in that same building?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, out of the ashes.
Yeah, there you go. So how long have you been going to Motion then? Because you've only been to South Campus for one time, or you only
when
been a
we
year ago.
Moved back to Puyallup in 2019. That's when we started going to Motion officially.
Were you living up north?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we both went to UW. So I graduated from Rogers in 08.
Yeah.
It just
That's actually a gang sign. Please don't kill me.
Gosh.
So 2008 went to UW, and then we were up north until 2019.
nice.
And then, but my family grew up going to Lighthouse
Yeah.
Art Hunt,
Okay.
and Brian Reynolds was there too.
Oh, really?
His family was like one of the earlier kind of core families.
Oh, nice.
When
But,
Josh was a teenager, he and Brian Reynolds used to nail a frozen pizza on a Saturday night and play video games till like 2 a.m. and then they'd wake up
Well,
and
no,
go
it was
do
Sunday
worship.
morning at like 5 a.m. We'd have a frozen
Oh,
pizza, and then
okay.
go to the church plant he was at, and I'd play electric guitar, and he'd be singing. But it was, I remember he said it coats the throat.
Yeah, so Brian and Alicia Reynolds they're like, we look at their life,
They're friends
8
and
years
mentors.
ahead of us or whatever,
Nice.
and we just they have 3 boys as well.
Yeah,
And I feel like when you have all boys, it's that's its own journey.
it is.
So
3
I feel
boys
like
is-
they have
We
been a big part of our
said all
life.
that because you asked how long we've been coming here. So we're
Yeah.
talking about all that.
I know,
but
it happens.
my junior and senior year of high school, though,
Yeah.
I played bass. I was involved in the youth group here officially,
Uh-huh.
but I had friends in school, that went here even when I wasn't like in the youth group here. So.
Nice. Wow. Well, it's a small world,
It's a long, beautiful story.
right? Yeah. That's awesome. And now you guys attend Bonnie Lake full time.
Yeah.
Were you guys ever at the tent?
Yes.
You were.
For like, what, 2
I
years?
remember I was super, super, super pregnant
Huge.
with our second kid. And then the next week I showed up and I'm literally just sitting on a chair, like nursing my baby out on a gravel parking lot outside of a tent, watching this whole tent situation. And it felt so right.
Really?
It was amazing. And we had been at Puyallup campus before that, and so I was kind of bummed to leave Puyallup. But when we got to Bonnie Lake,
Yeah.
it was inked
That's what
in my
I've
mind.
actually heard of that, and I only was there
It's
for
special.
one weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
That meeting
It's
in a
much
tent.
cooler than whatever you're experiencing.
Yeah, that's just true. That's why we're going to transition to a tent.
Yeah.
In the parking lot.
Yep.
Just
It was
'cause.
like it was really rough, and there's porta potties and that kind of thing. But there's
It was
something,
so difficult.
No,
in a heated
but
tent.
there's something about a grassroots kind of ground level effort
yeah.
It is.
and being a part
It's
of
got that
that.
church plant buzz.
That was
Yeah.
totally
the fresh
a buzz.
life.
yeah. Were you
Yeah.
guys serving too? Or not at that time?
I was in like the newborn and toddler phase of just like trying to just make it to church.
Oh, okay.
So I was not
Yeah.
serving.
Oh, really?
Sure.
I think like I started doing security later on or something, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's cool.
I
though.
think so.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
I
kind of
remember doing
like
some
in the baby fog, and like
Yeah.
we just gotta
Yeah, like the infant fog.
it's like we gotta somehow
tithed.
put clothes on and make it to church.
Yeah,
That's
We tithed.
so I felt like that was that season, and I feel like we're entering into a season now where we have just increased capacity
Yeah.
for whatever God has
have
for
a
us
ton
as
of
far as
free time
serving
now.
the church.
A lot of free time.
ton.
Yeah. You just leave the kids alone and you can do whatever you
Like-
want.
I am completely free from like 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
A full hour.
to do nothing.
That's awesome. Yeah. I remember the first time I actually heard about Josh Allison, because I'm really good friends with Caleb. If you guys know Caleb Allison, you know him, you love him. No. We love Caleb. And he'd always talk about, my brother Josh and I like talk about the band you guys used to have or you still do or something like that.
Supersonia.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah, in high school. But now, well, not anymore.
You guys still jam
like,
sometimes, right?
When we moved, we both moved here at the same time, both sets. So we were jamming like Friday mornings in his shed.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
But then like once they had Kenny, Yeah, we haven't done it for a while. But
Yeah. But I remember he told me
over
one time.
it'll definitely be happening.
So
Yeah.
Josh's brother is Caleb, and then
Yep.
Caleb's wife is Andy,
Mm-hmm.
and me and Andy are BFFs, which
Love
is
it.
it's super super wild, and just like I just can't even believe that we have so much family in the area who's
Yeah.
also like our built-in best friends.
I love that.
It's just yeah,
And
it's amazing.
Justine and
yourself.
her family.
Yeah,
Yeah, those
Yep.
guys are
Totally.
awesome. What's her husband's name again?
Nigel.
Nigel.
He's an
yeah.
ent.
yeah. He's like
Yeah.
8'6".
He's like
or
the opposite of
something.
you.
I've only
basically.
met different sides of the spectrum.
He is Mexican.
Is he really?
So I know you're not Mexican,
I'm not.
but honesty, man.
That's true.
All about honesty here.
That's incredible. But yeah, but awesome people, and all this to say, like, it's just awesome when you get to finally meet people that have been at the church for a minute, and then you like connect with them. Because I think the biggest thing about our church is a community, and I love that about our church is that, like, sure, you have small groups, and then you have, you serve in different ministries, but then when you just find people out of nowhere, like kind of you guys, like, it's incredible how that works and how the Lord brings people together and how it's still 3 campuses but one church.
Yeah.
And you don't really realize that until you find people from other campuses and you're like, okay, so now we're like, are we friends now? What's that one scene from Step Brothers where it's like, did we just become best friends? You know what I mean? Or I think that's what the movie's from. I don't know. But it's like, it's just that unity that the Lord allows us to just, and all this to say, it's like now what brought us together as friends is It's a Wonderful Life, which we'll touch base on because this is what the whole podcast episode is about. The music production and your guys' roles are George and Mary Bailey, which if you haven't seen the movie, watch it. Like I said earlier,
I feel like there's a generational divide.
100%.
If you're under the age of 30, chances are you haven't seen it. If you're over the age of 30, chances are your parents forced you to watch it every year at Christmas time growing up.
First time I ever watched that movie was before we went to Arizona with Roger. I'd never seen it, never heard of it, actually. And he was like, hey, we're going to Arizona to fix this script. Watch it. And I go, okay. And I go, this sucks. This movie's boring. The first time I ever watched it, I go, black and white. It's the 1940s. And they all talk like this. And so I was like, what?
Oh, Murray.
Yeah. Murray. So I was like so confused. But then we went down there and we kind of rewatched the movie and learned about, what it truly meant. And so the journey from what we did in Arizona back in March or whatever until now is absolutely incredible. And the fact that you guys, who are awesome people, get to play the main characters is really, really cool. So what even got you guys into it? Was it like a conversation with Caleb and it was like, hey, you guys should do this? Or did you guys feel like you wanted to do this? Like, how was that? Were you voluntold? Or were you
No.
like, hey, I want to...
They were dragging their feet on, I think Caleb, my brother Caleb, was at least unofficially tasked with casting,
Yeah.
or he was involved. And
There
they
really
were-
wasn't... Because we were
Yeah.
supposed to do, like we were going to do auditions.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
And then the summer came and then we just never did.
Right.
Anyways, continue.
But he was dragging his feet, just kind of waiting on the Lord. And then there was one Saturday night we watched a movie, I think, and I was just laying in bed like, I wonder if I could be an actor. It was just like this.
No way.
Like I've done plays and I'm a goofball, but it's like, I wonder if I could do a serious thing, because this is all serious. There's like trickles of comedy.
Sure.
But so, and then the next day at church, the other Caleb said, yeah, you need someone in the church production, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
And then his wife, Jordan, I was like goofing off, bumped into a wall or something. And she's like, are you an actor? And I was just like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And then I texted Caleb, my brother Caleb.
I think you
That
said,
night
do you
was
guys
like-
still need a George?
Yeah, I was like, you still have
that's what you
George.
said.
And then ultimately, he's like, no. And then I became the George. And then I felt like it could be very special if Joanna was Mary.
Okay.
But
I
I
just
was
felt like it would be cool for our marriage, and it'd be nice because we could do the kissing scene. It would just be like more real. Cause we're
Yeah.
actually
So that
married.
was your idea.
But I was dragging my feet
She was like,
hardcore because I thought, okay, Josh can go do all the rehearsals. I'll take care of the kids.
Yeah.
He can, there can be a different Mary that will be totally fine. That's how we'll just kind of divide and conquer so
Yeah.
that he can, put his full speed ahead into this
Yeah.
thing. And then there was one Sunday that I don't even remember quite how it happened, but we bumped into the director, also known as Roger.
Royer.
And I kind of just listed off all the reasons why I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And then I kind of
He's like,
just...
get the hell out of here.
Get out.
And
No, he
I
didn't
don't
say
know, one thing led to another, and I kind of just did it.
Sure.
So honestly,
It was
Roger
pretty much something like,
made it happen for us.
Oh, you gotta do this.
Yeah.
Roger.
Roger,
Yeah, sure.
the Roger
But the Lord was
crazy
totally in it.
eyes. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
he gave
Yeah.
me the Roger crazy eyes.
Yeah,
and
of
it
course.
was,
And
you
and she
know,
was like
the
officially psyched
typical.
at that point.
Yeah.
And she has been like absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
It's been fun
Yeah,
to
I
see
think
her
it's
just
that
come alive.
totally, and it's that tug in your heart, right, where
Mm-hmm.
the Holy Spirit is like, you should do this, but then obviously it's like, okay, I have kids, I
Yeah.
have a full-time job.
Yes.
When am I going to have time for this?
Exactly.
And
exactly.
ministry in a whole is that, right? It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to serve.
Yeah.
I want to serve every weekend, right? Not me, because I do, but like
Yeah.
other people might be like, I want to serve every weekend, but then there's the kid priority, you know, and then you got to figure it out with your spouse, and it's like, but then once the Lord makes a way, right?
That's
Then I
right.
think that's where everything really plays out. Because somebody asked me, they were like, "Who are the two? You know, who are those?" And I go, "Oh, that's they're a couple. They're married." And they go, "Do they have kids?" And I go, "Yeah, I think they do." Like, I didn't know you had 3. I said 2. And they go, "Well, how are they doing all these rehearsals?" And I go, "I don't know. It's a really good question."
Yeah. I
can
But
tell
here
you
they
how.
are.
The director is working it out.
Yeah,
Working
and
it
he's
out.
making it work.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
But this is an important point because serving the Lord,
Yeah.
like doing specific things,
Uh-huh.
activities for ministry purposes
Yeah.
should always be like case by case. Do this specific thing with the Spirit's in it.
Totally.
So like we didn't volunteer for this out of guilt. It was just like, all right, I'm excited about this. And then I went to Roger and said, if you guys can cover our childcare expenses, the church can cover that. We'll figure out babysitting. We'll be fine. Because like we've got a few nights a week where we could get away for 2 hours.
Sure.
So it's actually been very not stressful because we're not using a credit card to like pay our babysitters.
Of course, of course.
But so it's turned into something where it's like, yeah, they felt good about that. Awesome. We're able to come do our thing. We get like some extra date nights, if you will.
Yeah.
We're doing this thing together. So
Sure.
So part of how we verified, if you will,
Uh-huh.
the Lord was in it, was like, Lord, we feel good about it if we can get childcare covered.
Yeah.
So we'll just say, hey, this is what we need if we're the right fit. And then,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's like,
And
awesome.
then my job is, it's a great job and, you know, flexible to a point, but I
Yeah.
couldn't just like, oh yeah, I can't come in that day. I have rehearsal.
Uh-huh.
So it's funny because Caleb Allison, Josh's brother, has talked a lot about how like when you're doing hard work and the Spirit's in it, you're not toiling,
No,
right?
not
You're not like striving.
Yep.
It just,
unlike
it
right now,
falls,
like this is basically toil, like doing this podcast.
Yeah, it's
Bob.
just a drag.
it just falls into place, right?
Yeah.
So like I was like, okay, I can't take time off of work. I gotta, we gotta figure it out around that. Caleb Allison had made a rehearsal schedule without even knowing what my work schedule was. And when I looked at it, I was like, dude, this pretty much totally matches up.
The one he sent out.
Yes.
Yeah, the
yeah.
original.
Wow.
So it's like that was
Wow.
just kind of another example of I was like, you know what? This is totally this like God is gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was just another confirmation that
I love
it was
that.
the right thing. There was when I first agreed to do it, I was excited about it, but I noticed that in my everyday life, I was starting to feel a lot of anxiety. I was starting to feel kind of depressed and just like super off. And I talked to Caleb Allison about it with Josh because we were kind of doing a pre-rehearsal
Yeah,
together.
we did the first rehearsal at our place
to
outside
kind of
the garage.
talk about some logistics,
whiskey and cigars and
There you
going over
go.
some wines.
yeah, and I was telling Caleb like, yeah, it's not that it's not the right thing, but I've just been feeling really off. And he said, yeah, that's the enemy trying to basically just bring something down that's
Yeah.
like you're gonna face opposition on the cusp of something that like is really special and that God is going to make happen. So
Yeah.
you just have to be aware of that. And I thought, wow, okay, as simple as that. So I think that my takeaway from that is I've really just been covering this in prayer. And here we are literally 2 weeks out from the show now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I've just been... just been
Still
like, okay, we got to pray. We got to pray for our health. We got to pray, for the people that are like, oh no, I'm not going to go to the show, but like that God is going to do something.
Yeah, that God, the Lord calls
amazing
them.
in their life.
Somebody asked me, they go, so there's a guy who helps our church like buy equipment. He's kind of like our dealer, if you will, where if we need like house lights, he has connections with companies, and he's been in the industry for so long. His name is Art. You guys will meet him, and he has done theater. He's this like, I don't want to age him, but he's an older Asian man, an older Chinese guy.
You say something less offensive than
No, that's just what that's just, that's just who we
Gosh, you guys.
And so he's the best guy, and you guys will love him. He's been in theater for a long time. I think he told me like 40 plus years. Like he has always been into theater, theater lighting, like theater audio, all the things. Like he if there's anybody that knows about theater, it's him. And he was asking me all these questions, like, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? He goes, and do you have people who, what's it called with like if you had a second person to cover you?
What do you call understudy?
An understudy. He goes, so do the main acts have understudies? And I go, what? No. And he goes, what? And I go, yeah, we're just praying for their health.
That's
and he goes, okay, you guys must have really strong faith. And I go, we actually do, because
don't have another choice, bro.
yeah. And so if there's anything that you guys can keep them in prayers for, it's their health, right? Like, your guys' your vocal cords. Yeah, something crazy.
Josh just died in his chair.
All right, now who's going to be the new George? Yeah. So I've just found that incredible, because normally you have somebody else, right?
Yeah.
You have like a backup, like if something happens.
Yeah, but what if the backup gets sick? What if the
you need a backup to the backup?
What if both of you are on a bus together and boom?
Oh my gosh! Then you have a backup to the backup
In
to
London.
the backup in London. Nice. But yeah,
Gosh.
it's incredible.
It's dark.
You guys are grinding, and you guys are doing awesome, and I love being able to see it play out. Really,
It's
I think
been fun getting to know you too, Pablo. Or
yeah.
Pueblo, as
your brother calls me. Yeah. It's fun. It's crazy. I mean, I love how relationships just work out. You know what I mean? In friendships, like we never really were like, hi, my name is Pablo. My name is Joanna. I mean, it was just more like, hey, here we are. And now we're working together on something. And then all of a sudden you're spending so much time with them. Now, how many rehearsals have we done? I don't even want to know, but we've done a lot. A lot of rehearsals.
I think if Pablo hears us sing A Million Dreams one more time, he's gonna throw
I
a
love
microphone
it.
at us.
Every night I lie in bed.
That's actually how high.
The brightest gonna
That's-
be my cabeza.
That's how high he's gonna sing it in the actual. It's just gonna be him now. But yeah, but it's awesome. But did you? Were you even a singer before this?
I mean, I don't consider myself a singer.
I think you are, because Roger's
I
throwing
can do
songs at you left
I can
and
do
right.
a, like, good job for a musical.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like make it on American Idol or anything like that.
Well,
in my opinion.
of course.
But yes,
I didn't
hey,
know-
whoa! Hey, I was
Well,
just I didn't mean that. I wanted you to
yeah.
say no. You could. No,
Raj says that
I did like musicals.
he
in
said
high
I've
school stuff.
overused this line way too much, but
You?
I will say it for like the 80th time. I did not know Josh could sing till like a few weeks ago. And we've been married for going on like 14 years.
That's actually crazy to think about, because I didn't know that either. That I asked Caleb, I go, does your brother sing? He goes, nope. And I go, well, he sounds great. But it's just one of those things where you just got to do it. Did you know you were
Yeah.
going to be singing this much from the get-go, or no?
I'm not sure. I knew. I knew there'd be some singing. I didn't quite know how much.
Because this is a lot more than what we originally planned. I think there's like 2 or 3 more. Well, not that you have to sing, but
Yeah,
like
there's
there's the View.
singing several times.
Yeah, there's like the View, which got added,
Right.
and then the song.
The view.
That song is awesome. Which, let's give a shout out to Roger,
It's
because
just a little sample.
yeah. Sometimes Roger will throw out these ideas, and I go,
Sometimes?
yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I think it'll work.
I just had a new idea. Hey, why aren't you guys all ready?
Yeah.
I mean,
He'll have these ideas.
didn't you know what I just thought?
Yeah. He'll have these ideas, and in my head, I know exactly that he knows what he's thinking, right? And then he goes, "Yeah, I want to do this song. Can you like download the tracks? Because I'm doing all the track stuff." And I go, yeah, like, what's your plan? He goes, first verse, chorus, second verse, chorus, or whatever the arrangement is. And I go, okay, let's try it. And then they just tried it, and I go, oh my gosh, this actually works so well. And I go, that man, like, everything in his head is just planned perfectly. And then you guys did the song, the Whitney Houston one, which was planned from the beginning, but then like he added the video to the back, and I was,
that's really cool.
yes, I know. At first
When
he
they're
goes
singing and I'm watching the clip, I just get lost in it.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Yes,
In
yes.
the clip, it's like,
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then you hear, yes.
Yeah.
And so he goes, hey, I want to do this. And I go, okay. Not doubting him. I'm trying to think what he's thinking. And I go, okay, So you want like 10 seconds? And I go, 10 seconds is too short. And then I told Gabe, who's been doing the videos, hey, this is what Roger wants, these exact timestamps. And Gabe did like 3 seconds extra. And the first time we tried it, Roger goes, the video's wrong. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, it's too long. And I'm like, what do you, and I knew, I go, oh, dang it. Gabe added 3 seconds because we both thought 10 seconds was too short. And Roger goes, yeah, that needs to be trimmed down. And we go, okay. And then we trimmed it to what he wanted. And he goes, that's perfect. And I was like, wow. It's like, he's a genius. Like everything's just in his mind. And he knows what he wants. He knows what he likes. And so it's kind of easy working with him because he asked me to do something. And I go, can you just tell me exactly what you want? And I'll do it.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, this is what I want. I want these clips from this, timestamp to this timestamp, and I want it to look like this. And so once he tells me exactly what he wants, then I'll just do it, and then I'll show him, and he loves it.
yeah.
So same thing with the songs. It's like I want to do verse, chorus, and then we'll fade it out, and then it's like, okay, we do it, and it works. It's just incredible how he's able to think that, and then how you guys are able to follow it. I just think it's awesome, and it's all coming together.
It
And I'm
totally
really
is.
excited.
It's going to be awesome.
What's funny is I've never seen the video during the There Can Be Miracles song because I realized,
Always
I'm facing
facing
out
the
towards
Yeah,
the
yeah.
audience.
Yes.
So I've never actually watched it before. I got to watch it.
And then when he did The View, he wanted clips of, he literally sat down, Tina told me this, he sat down and watched the movie and was going 001 005. Like talking to his phone for timestamps.
Oh.
And I guess he did that and he was just kind of skipping through the movie for The View.
Yeah.
So when George, who sings first? Clarence.
Clarence.
Clarence sings, there's clips of Clarence. And it's a montage of just Clarence.
Are there already?
Huh?
Have you already put that together?
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
we've
I've never
rehearsed with
seen
it.
it. I didn't
Exactly.
realize it.
So
You haven't
dope.
seen that.
Yeah.
And so you've used the video already. We just haven't ran it a lot. And it's like clips of Clarence jumping, and then with George in the shack, and then it's
Yeah.
like him, it's so cool. And then there's that transition where he says, "Hey, you see that star up there? Yeah, whatever." And then as soon as you start singing, clips of George,
Yeah.
with his family hugging his mom, at the dinner table, George with Harry, and then I'm mesmerized by how Clarence singing, Clarence clips, monologue or that dialogue. And then it's you singing with the clips, and then you do the harmony at the end that John adds.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm just so incredibly excited to see the people and it's also it's your hard work. You know what I mean? And you kind of want, and of course we don't do it to please people, but we do it for the Lord. But in a sense, it's okay, we're working really hard with all of this, and we're giving it our best. And that's one of our values. We value excellence. And I think that we are,
Totally.
doing our best to do this with excellence, and then the Lord's going to do the rest. And so I'm just really looking forward to the message that's going to be brought, to the people that are going to come. I'm expecting that people who've never been to our church are going to be there.
Totally.
We
She's
open.
got a bunch of friends.
Do you
like
really?
all her
From
friends.
work?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it's so wild to think that there's going to be people here who otherwise either have never stepped foot in a house of worship or just haven't been in decades because they have church hurt or whatever. And it's just an opportunity for people to see that Jesus is real.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard stories of people who, hey, I heard it on the radio and I bought tickets.
Wow.
Or
That's so
yeah, I
cool.
forgot.
or
They're
I saw it online, or somebody's Instagram post, or it's just the word just spreads, right? And people
Yeah,
are
I mean,
hey, come to this show. And
I'm actually curious how many tickets have sold for Friday now, because, day one they opened it up. I don't know, sold 200 or 300, but
yeah.
I'm curious
Yeah, I
where
don't
we're
know.
at.
I wonder. I don't. Roger
She'll
will probably
check it.
say.
She checks it regularly.
Do you? You go on the Motion Trick
It's
website?
fun. It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fun to see.
I
like,
just do hope there's not a fourth added. I'm so excited for it,
I
and
don't
I'm excited
think
for it to be
so.
over. For just the, it's like what Joanna said. It's true. It hasn't been toil, but it is also like a.
It's taxing.
It's a lot. Like
Yeah.
in the car. And yesterday, just on the little walking pad at home, little treadmill, but I'm just going over Act 3 over and over and over.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it gets tiring. I mean, I haven't stopped singing. Been that Christmas morning.
Feeling
It's in my head all the time. You know what? I actually had a dream the other day.
Oh, no.
That John and Josh's, or Clarence and George's song was just kept looping. So they kept singing it, but then they kept going to the beginning and they
No
were just
way.
singing it over and
That's
over
so
and over.
funny.
So yeah, that once you start dreaming about it, it's
know
starting
it's-
to kind of become a little
Yeah.
ingrained in your subconscious.
Well, it looks like I don't know if you guys can see it. You guys won't be able to see it, but it looks like if you're looking at the stage, the center left part is almost sold out, and so is the center right part.
Oh,
Boom.
wow. For Friday.
For Friday.
If you don't want to be a
Wow,
loser,
that's
get tickets.
amazing. You know, something
top.
that
You want me to
Caleb
know?
Allison's wife, Andy, said? She said it to me
We
last
might
week.
literally be giving birth at this
Yeah,
moment.
she might be giving birth right now in the hospital. Who knows?
Are they in the hospital?
I don't know.
No, I
yet?
don't think so,
They could
but
be
she's
right
due yesterday
Yeah,
with
yeah,
their
yeah.
third kid.
Wow.
So she said, something along the lines of like, just because it's hard work does not mean it's bad.
Yes.
Hard work does not mean it's bad work.
Totally.
And if it's unto the Lord,
Yes.
he makes it not feel like.
Of course, 100%.
Again, the word toil just comes to mind.
Yeah.
It feels natural.
Yeah.
Like even though it's hard work, it's like it's good.
Yeah, I just think ministry is the most rewarding job in the world, and not necessarily because it's like the world's best paying job, because it isn't. The reality is it's not.
You don't do it. There's no teamwork.
And yeah, but it's like,
No, okay.
but the feeling of knowing that we are doing something that's far greater than we are is a very, very good feeling. That there are people who, I mean, okay, this is a testimony. Roger shared it from the stage. You guys remember that rehearsal where it was just us with Roger and that
Yeah.
dude
Oh,
was
yes.
banging on the door?
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard if I was sitting at the sound booth and I heard the far left doors, I heard somebody banging it. And I go, so I went out to the lobby and I go, okay, nobody's here. But I heard, I know what it sounds like because people do it all the time. So I went back to sit down and I heard, tuk, 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 tuk. And I go, what in the world? So I got up and I didn't see anybody again. So I go, maybe it's like an HVAC system because they're really loud. So I sat down again and then I hear it again, but it's closer. So I know they're in the lobby now. And I go and this dude's like waving me down.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, Roger, somebody's at the door. What do I do? Because it was like Saturday morning. No one's supposed to be there. It was like probably like 10:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And it's like, what? He goes, and he still had his mic on because he had
He
his
did.
mic
Yeah.
on. He
I
goes,
got the first part of his prayer.
yeah, I know. And he goes,
yeah.
I'll take care of it. And so then I walked out with him because I didn't know if this dude was sketchy or whatever
Yeah.
or sus or, you just
Yeah.
never know. So I walked with him and the guy, he was like, exactly how Roger explained it. He was like tormented, crying, shaking. And he basically just explained how his dad had killed himself, like he had committed suicide. And so he was,
Like he had just done it, right?
yeah.
Very recently.
Yes, very recently, like a week ago is what he said. And so he was feeling like that spirit of torment as well. And Roger prayed for him and he kind of gave him the script and he kind of like let me know like he's good.
Oh, yeah.
So I went back to the soundboard. That's when I muted him.
Yeah.
But like the testimony and it's not even a coincidence. It's just a God thing that a guy who his dad killed himself, right? Felt the same thing, and we are literally working on a play that is
Yeah.
about a man who wants to throw everything away and kill
Yeah.
himself, but then he finds God.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just so crazy. And people say like, "Oh, I don't believe in coincidences," which it's true, right? It's like when you see the Lord work,
Right.
it really isn't a coincidence. It's just
That's
God
right.
working. And so that moment made me realize, okay, what we're doing is incredible.
Yeah.
Not that I ever doubted it. I never did. But I just thought, okay, this is cool. Like, it's Christmas season. It's it's heartwarming and
Right.
it's cute or whatever.
Like
and
it's
it-
actually spiritual warfare.
yes.
Yeah.
And so then when you realize how deep this actually is, and I went back to the soundboard and I go, dang, like there's more people like him.
Because we're in the, you have to operate at a very practical level to memorize lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it is subsumed by the spiritual, and it
Yes.
is all part of preparation for what's going to be like 3 nights of spiritual battle.
Yeah.
People are going to be either resisting coming in, but they should, and they're going to be
Yes.
sitting there. And
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
But it's going to be really powerful. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
Something
covered in
that
prayer.
I've found in life is like the destination is all shiny and fun and wonderful and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I have found like just being a little bit more involved with some behind the scenes stuff at the church recently. I have been so blessed by the day-to-day interactions with people in the green room or that experience where the guy came in and Roger
Yes.
prayed for him.
Yeah.
It's really people say it's about the journey and it sounds corny, but it's like these moments you have along the way where you have these little conversations with people or whatever, or you're even when like I serve on the worship team maybe once a month, and it's just like between services, the patio time and making connections with people. It's like it really is super. It's a super rich experience.
Yes.
Just seeing those little things along the way that God does.
Yeah, and
It's
it's just
awesome.
all about being intentional, right? That what we are doing is for a specific group of people, but it's a specific group of people in a very big season, you know? Because I mean, until Roger mentioned it, I didn't really think about how many people spent, the Christmas season alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, oh, I used to have traditions with my family, but my dad died, and so now our family doesn't get together. Or, my grandma passed, and she used to, whatever
Right.
it may be. It's like
And
this
for
season.
every one instance where that is the case, I would just guess there's like 10 or 20 where there's some kind of emotional
Yes.
rift.
Yes, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
just in a way just as painful
Yeah.
because it's still a form of death
Yeah.
in a relationship. It's
Yeah.
like something that was good is dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And you especially remember it in a time where the emphasis is on community and,
And
love
family
and family.
and family. Yeah,
closeness.
yeah. Totally.
Yeah, it's like,
And
wow, I don't have that.
Exactly. And then so it's a tough season for a lot of people. And so I just think that, and I'm praying for the people who like Josh said are contemplating not going, but they already bought tickets. It's like, oh, should I
Something come
really
up.
go?
Yeah.
Traffic, or it's raining.
Right.
Or, it's like I'm praying that the Lord kind of clears the way for people
That's
to
good.
really feel like, okay, I bought
Like,
tickets
I'm
and I'm
going.
going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go. And if the Lord talks to me, then amen. And if he doesn't, then amen. You know what I mean? It's like the people who really need it for them to truly be there
Right.
that night. For the
Yes.
people who are struggling the most. For, again, it's a very
That's a good
specific.
specific prayer that
Yes.
Yeah.
we should all be agreeing.
Yeah. Because it's a very specific group of people.
Right.
Because you do like, not to throw any shade to any churches, but I mean, you do something like the Grinch, right? It's like cheery and it's great
Sure.
and it's cute and it's for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think Roger took a really good risk by making it specific, for suicide,
Yeah.
because that's such a big thing in this season. And so so I'm just praying for those people that are doubting, that are like, should I go? Should I not go?
Yeah.
It's $10. Who cares?
It's like
It's
they're going to need,
$15.
each of them will need their own like high impact angelic escort
Seriously,
to
almost
pull them away from,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
mean,
that's right.
some people truly are under demonic oppression
Yes.
or even possessed.
Yes,
And so,
yes.
yeah, it's like specifically praying that those people get like rescued out of that
Yeah.
and brought here. It's
Totally,
a big deal.
100%.
And I think that growing up, this movie, it did not mean to me what it did to my parents. I was like, it's black and white. It's
Yeah.
boring. It's kind of creepy when he goes back to Pottersville.
It's like
and
war movies don't mean nearly as
Yeah.
much to you in junior high as they do when you're like a grown adult.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
the pain of that loss and of what war means for a family and for you feel
It's
it all
different.
deeper.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
older
so
you
then
get,
a few
feel
months
it.
ago when I watched it again, because I was like, okay, I got to get into the Mary Bailey situation now. I watched it. It was like I was watching a new movie.
Dude,
Really?
it
And
wrecked
I
me
had
when
watched
rewatched
it,
Really?
like
It wrecked me.
maybe dozens of times. And it was like a different movie when I
Wow.
watched it, because I feel like when you enter into the season of life where you have financial pressure, you have kids, you got jobs, you got things, you got health
Dreams
stuff, you got dreams.
and,
You got
and
dreams.
financial pressure and kids
Yeah.
and dreams and financial pressure. It's
yeah.
funny how it's like most people
Yeah.
experience that
Yeah.
at this age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a small percentage who maybe are like born into great wealth or that, but I
Yeah.
mean,
But like the midlife crisis component
Yeah.
is totally relatable for a lot of people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
especially guys.
Yeah.
Like George Bailey always wanted to do big things. And he ends up staying in this crummy old town, as he keeps calling it, because if he doesn't, this kind of sleazy business guy is going to take over the town and ruin the culture, basically. And he's not going to create... George Bailey's the only guy who can like protect the flourishing of the little guy, the small people.
Yeah, I love that.
That's something... I know something I wrestle with as someone with... Like, I have big dreams for business someday.
Sure.
But also, in the Lord, in his time, he can still bring those big dreams about.
Totally.
But all that being said, his story, I am George Bailey.
It's very,
like
it's
that.
super
I totally
relatable
resonate
for
with
us.
that.
Wow.
Literally,
As a couple,
I'm his age when he plays it.
yes, it's
No.
very, very,
Our
very
kids are like
relatable
relatively
for our
the same.
marriage.
Yeah, very relatable.
Wow. If that isn't God, then I don't know what is. But
But
that's
I'm not
incredible.
contemplating suicide.
Oh, okay.
and I know the Lord. That's the other thing. Like, when you know the Lord, it's not hopeless. Like,
Totally.
you know deep down he's bringing you on a path.
Yeah.
The other thing I never hear about is, in the story of It's a Wonderful Life, it's like George Bailey, the end of the story is he gets his life back and he has a new perspective and he's super thankful. But having desires to plan modern cities and design new buildings and do the great architecture is also something God puts in people's hearts.
Yeah.
So it's like the second act of his life could be, hey, I submit to the Lord and boom, now I'm able to incrementally work my way out of running the building alone and do these things that are also important.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, anyway.
And it's like Roger on Sunday, his part of his sermon was stewarding what you have. And so, yeah, I think that if there were a It's a Wonderful Life part 2,
Yeah.
truly George Bailey would have, it's like, okay, you've stewarded what I have for you and
Yeah.
here's more.
There you
Because
go.
he's striving.
Yeah.
It's like there's noble things in the story, but he isn't submitted to the Lord in the story.
Yeah.
And what's cool about this script is, in a non-cheesy way, Caleb worked in
God moments. what
God
we call them.
moments,
Yep.
make it, because it's already in the original,
Yeah.
but it's just a little more obvious. And
Of
so
course.
at the end, when he surrenders to the Lord, that's when now you can have dreams but not strive.
Yeah,
'Cause
Correct.
that's right.
Otherwise, you're striving, it won't produce life. Even if
Totally.
you get the thing you think you want,
Yeah, yeah,
you'll
yeah.
destroy other things in the process. It's impossible to truly achieve fulfillment of fruitfulness
Totally.
if you're not following the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You just break stuff.
Yeah. But I'm so excited. I keep repeating it because I genuinely am. And my heart is very soft and tender for this, because now I know that what this really is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so God bless you guys for doing this. In the same way in stewarding, I think you guys are stewarding this task really well. Right? Because we could just be like, it's just a church production, whatever.
Thanks, Pablo.
You're welcome. But I think everybody's doing a great job of, because committing to something like this is hard. Like, I probably wouldn't if I wasn't on staff at the church, just of how time consuming it is.
Yeah.
But I'm here not because I have to be, because I want to be, right? Be a part of it. But it's like, I'm here anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who aren't. They have to make time. Shout out Manny Uson.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That guy is he's the hero.
Shout out Manny. And so it's just going to be those nights. I already know that before we even open those doors, we're going to fill that room with prayer.
Dude, it's
We're going to do a pre-service prayer for sure.
it's going to be like something we haven't quite anticipated, I think.
It's
Gonna be.
I totally
have
agree.
done shows before, and it's like the electricity, and they're sold out. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
a
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
blast.
No,
It's gonna be
we're-
super fun and powerful.
Yes.
Is because I know for a fact I know the cast is coming to it with the sack lunch mentality. It's like, Lord, I've got some bread and fish. That's all I have.
Yeah.
That's all he needs. It's like our heart is to have the Lord do something with it,
Yes.
That's right.
even if we think it sucks.
Uh-huh.
As long as we're giving it to him and
Yeah.
we've put in the work in faith, which we are doing,
Yeah.
it's going to be freaking awesome.
It's gonna be-
the
it's gonna be
results in
awesome.
the kingdom will be great. And I
It's
think
gonna
it's
be
going to be a good show.
It's going to be great.
I think it's actually going to be a good show.
I agree.
I,
with you.
I find myself sitting there sometimes, especially my just every time Owen gets up and sings his thing, I just sit. I find that I'm sitting there just grinning ear
Just
to ear
smiling.
like
Yeah.
a dork.
I
And I'm like,
know.
wow, my mouth is just frozen
I'll
in
like
a smile.
I'll like laugh in the back when Roger goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
like-
no, the best thing I
it.
have on video is Roger goes, "We got a show."
Yes, I love that. It's so good. But I'm so excited, but it's going to be great. So if you haven't bought your tickets yet, I'll probably edit this episode tonight and release it like on Friday.
You're gonna need to edit out some of Josh's things.
I'm about to say 7 different swear words right now. The same one in 7 languages.
But I'm going to edit this soon so we can release it. That way people can time to hear it and your guys' testimony, and it's going to be awesome. I do want to ask one thing. Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek of a scene?
Oh gosh.
Like as George and Mary?
Every night,
A little bit of dialogue. Maybe what's the song you sing before everything? That's the shortest dialogue you have.
Oh, the dialogue before we sing everything.
Yeah.
I go. Oh, don't I? I go.
Now I'm testing you right now.
See, you're
I'm
testing me.
testing you.
I go, oh,
It's like the one
that's it. I go. Welcome home, George Bailey.
Yeah, and then this is like the one that like, oh, Mary, how'd you do this thing? Remember when
Okay, how about another? How about another one?
Okay,
you
my
always mess up that line because
favorite
you go, oh, darling, you're wonderful.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's too
actually-
And then he
early.
comes in
That's a
too
little
early.
piece that I have like forgotten about.
I
in the show.
know.
Okay, how about
That's such a
something
short
else?
Scene. Okay, my favorite
character.
scene is Act 2, Scene 2,
The
the
Hatch House.
Hatch House, because
That's
Caleb
fun.
Allison came over when our kids were in bed, and we blocked the scene from our little townhome garage, and that was like the first
Love
scene
it.
that we had ever blocked. It's my favorite one. The dress that Shauna picked out is super cute.
Oh,
It's got little flowers
costumes.
on it.
I'm excited for
It's got
costumes.
it's pink.
I can't wait.
I mean,
Yeah, props to Shauna.
When's the last time I wore a pink dress with flowers on it?
Never.
Never. I mean, I
Well,
don't know.
that first date dress you made,
Sure.
kinda.
Yeah, I was a teenager at the time when we went on that date.
Grew up on the prairie, made her own dress.
Yeah, but I go, okay.
Okay, wait. You can't start yet.
I can't start yet.
And action.
every night I
No, I go, what are you doing? Picketing?
Oh, hello, Mary. Shouldn't you be in New York?
I got back 3 days ago. Didn't your mother tell you?
My mother? Why should she?
Oh? In case you wanted to know.
Why would I want to know?
Oh, so you just...
Yeah, happen to be passing by. That's right.
I see. Well, have you made up your mind?
How's that?
Have you made up your mind
About what?
about coming in? Your mother phoned and said you were on your way over to pay me a visit.
My mother phoned you? Well, what is it? How would she know?
Yeah.
Line? Well,
Yeah.
how would she know? How would she know?
Well, didn't you tell her?
I didn't tell anyone. I just went on a walk and happened to be passing by.
And then I go, I'll be downstairs, mother. And then
went on a
Adrian
walk.
Nakamura, who's you know, hot mom Bailey. She ain't no frump. She goes, okay, dear, or something like
And
that.
then you walk off the
Yeah, yeah. And then
catwalk.
I walk down the catwalk, and I really need to not die when I do that because those steps
Yeah,
are
I'm hanging off it. It's like,
steep. They're
not even
steep,
bolted
and I'm going to be
down.
wearing high heels, so I
Oh,
need to practice.
serious?
well, that's why you
walking
hold
down
on
in
to the
high heels.
railing.
Yeah, it's a long way down.
That's awesome. Well, that was
The better
killer.
part of that scene is the latter part, but that's enough.
Hey, but we're gonna save that for the show. You're gonna have to buy tickets to the
this
show.
Was a little preview.
because it's my favorite scene.
Yeah.
I love it.
You
And
may
the
as well have
ending
just watched
absolutely
Christian
slaps.
Bale and Charlize Theron do a clip. Same
I love
level.
that. I love that. That's awesome. Well, thank
man.
you guys for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having us. I didn't know there
Where's
was
the,
a
how are
Office
we getting
Creative
payment? Is
podcast.
it Venmo or a check? Or
Yeah, the check, and then it'll bounce when you go cash it
It's
in.
the thought
Hey.
that counts.
Yeah,
that
of course.
rhymed.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, but yes, please buy tickets for "It's a Wonderful Life," Friday, December 13th, 7 p.m.
Woo.
We're so excited. We're going to be coming out with more podcast episodes, so stay tuned. I say that every time, but I seriously mean it. Love you guys. Love you guys. Thank you
Love
so
you.
much.
Hugs and
Love you.
All right,
kisses.
Thank you,
see you guys.
Pablo.
Bye.
Bye.